Welcome to Reality After Show coverage of the Traitors US Season 3, Episode 7. That's right. If you're looking in your corner, you're watching, not just listening, there's a new logo. I'd like to thank my good friend and amazing artist, Kevin Balk, for that. But equally as important, maybe more, who's to say? Welcome back, Jenn Hoffman. It's been forever.
I'm alive.
She's alive. And as always, Rachel Reilly, our favorite faithful.
Thank you. Jenn, I was just saying off camera how beautiful you look. You look so young.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I accidentally got my hair cut shorter than I thought. I thought I was going to look like Kate Gosling at first because it's like shorter in the front. And I was like, oh no. Now I'm like, I'm a Karen. I thought I was getting a Karen. And then I was like,
no, it's amazing.
Thank you.
You look so pretty.
Kate Gosling, is that Rachel's enemy Kate, or is that a different Kate?
No, it's Kate and something plus 8. John and Kate plus 8.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh God, Kate. She's the one. She hates it when you breathe.
The original Karen. Yeah.
Yes, the original Karen.
She's the original.
Hey, speaking of which, fair play.
Yeah.
I think guys are more likely to be cheaters.
Oh, well, you know what?
Sandoval with that like 40-inch whip. Like,
all right, well, let's get to the chase on this part. Two quick things. My fiance has not watched 1 second of the Traitors because I watch my fiance, she's executive host at Caesars Virginia. Go check out Caesars Virginia. Don't call me. Just go there. It's fine. It's great. You'll love it. I love it. My fiance is executive host. She deals with the high rollers there. She has off Thursdays and Fridays. Thursday nights, I'm not watching the Traitors. We're enjoying her Friday night. So I guess her Saturday night. Who's to say? So I wake up very early Friday morning and I watch. She does not. I unfortunately had a funeral this morning. For those of you paying attention to, I don't know,
the funeral.
TMZ, Us Weekly, Entertainment Weekly, RollingStone.com. Are you effing kidding me? UK Sun, the dead grandma. She passed away. Shout out to the dead grandma. She had a great run. 7 husbands. Was dated the host of the Grand Ole Opry. Had no clue until last week. Had a fling with Robert Goulet. Are you kidding me?
And she had to die twice before, in order to leave her legacy of entertaining and bringing joy, confusion, and launching Jonny Fairplay's villainous rise.
The start of the villain era.
He gave us such a gift.
Yeah, hey, if it was not for the dead grandma lie, we would not have Kardashians. So we need to thank, or not thank my grandma for all this. So so anyway, my fiance's up early and she walks down just in time for the round table. And she sees Sierra, who has one of the worst villain defenses I've ever seen. And my fiance goes, so she's a traitor, right? And I go, no. And she goes, really?
Yeah.
And then I show her the 2 that are, and she was like, wow.
Well,
Carolyn.
When she gave her little interview that if they went after her, she was like ready. I was like, it was like almost a narrator, like she was not ready. Like,
it was tears or fight back. And I think tears was the way to go.
I think tears, but like extreme fighting back of like, you have done this when things were so obvious in front of your face, like clearly with Rob, like you knew it. And now you're itching to pull that trigger again because it's something you think you know.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like make them doubt it by being like, you think you're finding a pattern because you finally like, because they actually justified it by saying, well, we're going to keep thinking you are one unless we get rid of you.
Until we stupidly get rid of you, in which we don't believe it. So
when did Sam step up? Like,
we'll get to this. No,
okay, let's get into it.
At all. That's a whole different thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so she sees this. She's like, is she the traitor? I'm like, no. She's like, oh, okay. She goes, not doing good. I'm like, no. B, she sees Tom Sandoval, and women are much better and much more often cheaters than men. And she was like, what is that? And I go, that's Jax's best friend, my fiance, who knows Jax Taylor. We did a US tour together. And she goes, oh, that explains all of that. And she was like, I'm done. I'm out of here. that guy.
Like his
Or,
name is Sandoval, and it has
Yeah.
to do with cheating. Like that's that's how he is on the show. Like I know Vanderpump people are famous enough for it, but he is like
the king.
yes.
Yes. So, well, the title of the episode is
weird.
A Bitch is
He's
Lying.
So weird.
Yeah. The title is A Bitch is Lying. I was waiting for my fiance to be like, this bitch.
All right, we should get into it. But yeah, Sandoval, the faces between Carolyn's faces and Sandoval's faces, I almost could watch it on mute whenever they're on, because I love both of every like they're so like their expressions. It's like they're like they think they're in a silent movie or something. It's like I love it. I can't get enough.
Well, I think this episode you could watch for sure on mute, because I was like, are these people, are they serious right now? Like, can we start with the breakfast? Can we just please go to the breakfast?
Real quick. All right. The title of the episode is A Bitch is Lying. It's a face-to-face murder. And basically, if Alan comes in, you're safe. It's breakfast. And this morning, the faithful will discover. And I'm like, guess what? So will we. We have no clue what's going on, Alan. So not only will the faithful discover what happened, so will we. So,
but you know what? They might have let us know, but because of Sam and Sam's like, and the intro to Sam means Sam's probably getting murdered soon, because we didn't hear a peep from him, and he wouldn't be a winner or else you'd see him the whole time. So I'm like, oh, he is smarter than we think. He's probably getting murdered soon because he's suddenly on the show. But his insight into when they described what Alan Cummings looked like and being like, oh, every person who comes in, let's have them describe it, was so smart and so genius that I wondered in that moment if they didn't let us, if maybe they had not intended to have edited it where we didn't see it that way, but so his comment, and you know what I mean? Like his comment of saying they would know it, and then we got to see in real time what they got to see, but we didn't know.
Yeah, no.
I just thought it was maybe careful, crafty editing, because they're so good on the Traitors at doing that.
This is the best breakfast I think we've ever been a part of. And Rachel, you have been in a breakfast. Do you agree?
Yes.
Like walking us through how this works?
Okay, so can I just go all over the place and just
go all over the place?
So when you go into breakfast, you're in separate rooms. So first of all, we'll start off with that. So they put you in a separate room. So you don't know who's in breakfast first. You don't know who's in breakfast last. You don't know how any of this is going to like fold out, right? So you walk in, let's say you're breakfast first. So you're like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. I'm the first one there. You are always surprised because you never know how many people are at breakfast before you. So then you start talking. You assume you have this like minute of safety when you're at the first breakfast, right? So you start talking like what happened last night, what all the stuff. Then you hear knocks and you're like, oh, it's definitely a girl, or that's a Christian. Well, for my season, it was Christian knock.
Michelle, who apparently knocked much louder than
who apparently, but it was like certain people have certain knocks. Like every time Christian knocked on the door, he would be like literally, you were like, okay, we get it. Like we get you're Christian.
No one will remember you after Traitors 2.
Literally. So then we would so then you go in and you talk and you start figuring out stuff. So I think it was very smart for them to start talking about what happened the night before. And I thought this was like, I was surprised that Sam and Ivor, like especially Sam though, was so onto this, that he was like, what was Alan wearing? What happened? And then like, guys, is Tom Sandoval actually that dumb?
Yes.
I also think he has a nervousness to him, especially because of all the face making and stuff, that when instead of realizing, okay, so you have somebody describes it, whatever, and then Sam literally says, okay, let's use this.
Don't say anything.
Ask them what they saw. And Sam catches and Tom Sandoval like kind of catches on. He's like, okay. And then in such nervousness, it's almost like he A, doesn't have Carolyn in his radar at all, but B, I think the silence and the awkwardness made him feel like, oh my God, wait, they're gonna think I'm a traitor or something's weird if I don't talk. It's like his nervous energy that he has to get out, I think. Like I don't think
so random.
Dumb.
I think it's a
combination. Like he's more frantic than dumb.
I think it's a combination of he cannot allow silence, A, and B, he just knows for a fact it's not Carolyn. So it's just like, yes, I agree with your theory, Sam, and we're going to do that starting after Carolyn, because it's obviously not Carolyn.
Yeah.
Right. So that's the thing though. Like I don't know if that was crafty editing or what, but like she was like unhinged.
Cooked.
Yes.
Cooked.
And what saved her was not only Sandoval, but it was when Dolores then came in and they asked her and she gave nothing. She was like,
yeah. She's
so
like,
I was like,
duh, he's wearing his typical, black Allen outfit because this is nothing to talk about because my takes are so fucking wrong that why even bother talking takes?
Well, I was thinking in my head, like, if I'm ever in the castle and that happens, the easiest thing to always say is just like, yeah, it's Alan. He's wearing a Scottish regalia. Like, he looks like he walked out of a magazine from Scotland. He was wearing that, like, what is it called? The thing, like, just kind of like dance around it. So if he's wearing the tartan or whatever, what do they call it? Tartan?
Tartan.
Yeah, tartan. So you can always
or tuna tartar.
Or wait,
tuna tartar. You can like play it off like you don't know what it is.
The boots thing was mentioned by, I don't remember the first person who came in, I don't remember if it was Gabby or the second, talked about the long walk and the candles and those details.
Yes.
And then the second person mentioned his outfit. So it's like, if you were in that position, they were in there, they murdered, and they said, well, what was it like? Just reverse it. Pretend you're the person standing there and be like, well, you're standing there and you're waiting and you don't know what's going to happen. And there's candles and you're in a church and just keep talking until there's enough, basically.
100%. I agree. I think that would have worked better. And then also she could have always just said, because he literally said, what was Alan wearing? Yeah. She could have just even said, like, covered her butt and just been like, I don't remember. I was so overwhelmed by like the
candles
and
the ambiance of there's the casket there, and I was scared they're going to put me in the all I was focused on.
Or what do you mean? What was he wearing? We were in a dark church, and I just found out I wasn't murdered, and it's quick. And then you just say it's quick, it's like you just know it's not quick. That, and you get sent away.
And then you turn it out and take. It's just like, whoa, wait a second, like. How was he able to focus on Alan so much when we're just thinking about the coffin of it all and the candles and the flowers and our beautiful outfits that Rachel couldn't stop talking about last week?
Oh my God, I love them. Oh, I got gossip from Brittany. She said that only some of those were costumes. Ooh. She said that, her dress, she had brought that. It was like a few different pieces of an outfit. And then some of it was because I was like, there's no way all those boys were like, hey, let's all bring red and black suits. Oh, yeah. So some of it was costumes, but some of it was stuff that they had already had.
All right. So let's backtrack a hair and then let's move forward.
Yeah. I thought that was good gossip, Fairplay.
That was good gossip. Finally. I've been waiting. Episode 7.
Right. Straight from someone that was on the show.
Yeah. Way to go. All right. Real quick, breakfast begins. Danielle is giddy, and I'm like, this is the Danielle I signed up for here. So the Boston Rob of it all really fucked up Danielle.
Yeah, it was so overpowering and confusing to her. Well, then she also has like Caroline, who she's having, I don't know, the Danielle, and you guys have probably discussed it a million times, doing the thing like when a chihuahua gets out of a bath and is shaking and is freaking out.
That is so weird.
Yeah.
I'm like,
so
she didn't help.
It's not her.
No, it's so obvious. And she does it at the end of the episode too this time. And it's just like, why would she even, like, if you're ever in that castle and you have like a tick that you can't control, like, fine. But if you have to fake one, like, it's not going to work because it's going to come across as like
a fake tick.
A fake tick, yeah, like shaking, like, oh, I'm so scared. Like, who does that? Nobody shakes because there's like some sort. I mean, it's just not a normal.
Is she okay? Like, does she need attention? Is there something we don't know? Like, because it's so much.
No, I think she got fucked in the fact that she latched on to Bob the Drag Queen. Boston Rob shows up, fucks up her game. Bob the Drag Queen's gone, and then he strongholds her into getting rid of her other friends.
But Danielle,
and then she's forced into being friends with the last person that fucked her over.
But the shaking doesn't make any.
The shaking is weird.
Catching on to the too much crying.
It's just bad acting.
People are
badass.
aware of Danielle, and that Danielle, while she can be emotional, can be very cutthroat and strategic.
Yeah.
So when there's a lot of tears and like you're shaking,
The shaking's a
because
bit
it's so
much.
upsetting.
Yeah.
She doesn't seem
But
like the type of shaking over something being upsetting. So I'm like, are you okay? Like,
But she needs to explain that she has more friends than most in this house, and I don't think she's doing. I think she's doing a half-ass job. I felt this was the Danielle that I signed up for Traitors, and I think this is the Danielle that Traitors
but not at
wanted
the
to be
end
a
of the
traitor.
day. Yeah, but at breakfast, but not at the end of the day.
Well, no, at the end of the day, I think she's a much better spot than Carolyn. We'll get there. All right, so
but at the end, they literally leave the episode with Dylan saying like her fake shaking. She's shaking all the time. This is
I
he knows.
With the correct, if she throws Brittany under the bus, I think she's okay. But we'll get there. All right,
I know.
So
I'm dying to talk about that last little thing.
I want to hear theories. All right, Brittany says, "Bossing Rob, calling me a gamer. Come on, stop." And I'm just like, "You're on a game show. Stop it."
Yeah.
But her hot takes continue, or her wrong takes, because she is positive Danielle's a faithful, and I'm like, "Girl, please."
Ugh, I know.
Well, the safe squad is here. Sierra is hot as balls. And stupid Sam doesn't think the traitors are as smart as they think they are. And I'm like, oh, God. And Sam goes, hey, in case you're wondering why I'm stupid, Sam, know this. I may be stupid, but I listen. I'm like, oh, no. And Fisa listened on House of Villains. She made it to the end. Is this stupid guy going to make it to the end? Wait, he's not stupid. We got there. All right. Sierra and Ivan think it's
and not only that, but all of a sudden he looks hot as well. Did anyone else notice that?
He looks like bigger or something.
He looked big, like more
muscular.
He's been
working out in the room.
Yes,
we see him working
he
out.
He looked more like night. He's more attractive in this episode than I've seen him in.
Yeah, it's like he didn't talk. He wasn't there. It was like almost like they had to he's like AI and they had to reboot him and he came back like a Gaston version of himself.
Yeah. Well, he does work out every night while everyone's getting murdered. We have seen that. You know, they show his room, he's just working out.
Oh,
yeah.
I actually, because the Britney Spears thing, thought they were going to show him like dancing or something.
Yeah, no, he's not that fun. He's not that entertaining. All right. Well, Sierra and Ivan are pretty sure it's Tom. Gabby's in first of that potential group, and she is quite the cherub. Yes, and she explains, hey, for those of you wondering what was happening, it was gorgeous. Next is Tom, and he goes, how am I not last? I can't believe it. He goes, I was so tight last night, if he farted, only dogs would hear it. Oh, that's what I look for in a date. Totally unrelated. I don't know how that crept into my notes. All right. Tom saw trendy shoes and knew it wasn't anyone from this cast, because if you've noticed, this cast doesn't know how to dress unless they are outfitted. Rachel Reilly can tell you all about that.
Very clearly. Yes, I agree.
Yes. Rachel will be right back, folks. Don't worry. Sam says whoever doesn't know who Alan's outfit is a traitor. Holy shit, Sam isn't stupid. Carolyn's in next. What was Alan wearing? Oh, no. Commercial break. Holy moly. So this close, and Tom goes, oh, let me interrupt. And semi-pass for Carolyn. I feel the walking back of the coffin theory. We could see a potential walking back of the Carolyn never answered the question theory.
Although Dolores did not answer it and outright refused to. They asked her, they were like, what was he wearing? And she ignored it and then was like, okay, who's left?
Yeah.
Like she didn't even answer it at all.
But that could have been more of an edit versus her not saying. I think we got everything that Carolyn gave us. And I think it felt like production kind of, they're just like,
I bet you're right. And then, but we have to get to the end in order for me to explain the theory of like what I think what I think the true traitors should do and what will benefit them and the mistakes they're making. Because Danielle watched that whole breakfast and knows something that Caroline doesn't. She knows that now people could suspect her if she does resurrect something like the coffin theory. So you're probably right. That if Danielle decides to throw Caroline into the bus, she can be like, wait, wasn't that really weird at breakfast when Caroline totally didn't know about what...
She gets upset when you mispronounce her.
Carolyn.
Yes.
Carolyn. Sorry.
I'm just saying we have some traitors and faithfuls that watch this show, and sometimes they get
No,
upset.
I love her. She's my favorite.
Oh yeah.
So I'm
Oh yeah.
like, I'm
No,
obsessed.
same. So let's see. So Dolores comes in next. It's Chriselle that's murdered, and she says, "This is crazy, and why are you doing this?" And they're like, "Oh, you're just too faithful." And into the coffin she goes. And once again, recurring theme, the murdered person says that Carolyn is playing the best game.
Yeah. Like, not surprised at Danielle, but like shocked it's Carolyn. That's great. Yes.
Yeah. Gabby is gonna miss her. I saw the way you were looking, Gabby. I was too. Tom thinks Chriselle is coasting by. No one appreciates anything Tom says about Chriselle because we know it's coming from a bad place. And Sierra says, yeah, you think she is coasting by? You can say the same thing about Brittany. I'm like, ooh, girl, calls out, shots fired.
I mean, I thought that would have been a good move if she had been able to continue to push that narrative, know how to game, know how to talk to people, and defend
She's not from
herself
that
better.
world.
I mean, Sierra had like a super good opportunity. Like, she took a shot then, and then she could have taken mini shots, and that it could have gone a totally different direction. But
that's the difference between a gamer and I think if Sierra had come from Big Brother, The Challenge, or Survivor, that hook that she got right there, she's throwing 12 more and then just reeling you in for the rest of the day.
And not only is she a Summer House person, but she's newer to that cast too. And I know people. So the first original cast of Summer House were two people that were good friends of mine. One of my really good friends and another friend. And one of those people kind of like ousted the other. And the other one now is a pretty big star. And it's because she could be a gamer. She's that kind of person. But Sierra's like new and trying to play strictly social and doesn't get gamer yet. Only gets like how to talk in front of a camera to argue or appear better, but not gamer strategy talk.
I would love to see, like, of the people that could come back for say Survivor or Traitors All-Stars. I would love to see Sierra get another crack at this.
Yeah, when she gets it, understands it, because she was catching on. She's smart.
I think so too.
Yeah, I would agree.
I think she comes back and she's aligning with the gamers.
Yeah, I want to see
or she's creating a non-gamer gamer alliance.
I'm waiting for someone to do that, and she would have been a great person for it. But I was like, the first time you're on a show, even though I was on like a gamer, it is totally gamer. They don't let you know as much gamer because everyone's trying to get rid of each other. You think it's somebody else trying? No, it's everyone. Once you know what that's like, then it's like everything's different on a show like that. So seeing certain people and seeing if they could grasp it, come back as a non-gamer coming back. And now being like, I want to play with the gamers. I'd love that too.
I think she has in her. So Alan says, be a doll and hurry. Everyone catches the clue except for Tom. Doll was the clue. Danielle says, let's run this game, girl. And I'm like, okay, once again, this is the Danielle I wanted from the onset and not the Danielle we've had for 5 of the 6 episodes prior to this one. Tom says, hey, what was that the other day with you and Danielle, Carolyn? And Carolyn's like, I guess I should say something because we have a 1-day reprieve that resets every day. It's kind of like Groundhog Day in certain aspects. So and then Sam's like, hey, let's revisit the coffin theory because I have nothing else to bring to the table other than what I had this morning that we totally destroyed.
Right. Except for the most obvious thing that we could revisit or, find a way to interrogate or investigate. And
no. So, and play badminton. Okay. And Sam relays again, a traitor would put themselves in the coffin or they wouldn't. And Sierra agreed with Boston Rob the night before. Sierra also notices that Brittany and Danielle are too tight. Yes. Time for the challenge. There's 2 teams of 5. A team of 5 goes with Alan, and one team of 5 goes into the castle. And the ones in the castle cannot get a shield. There's a gramophone Oh my God! With all the vinyl records I have somewhere, I guess they're over there. You can't see them. I don't have a gramophone. I have a turntable. But it plays records forwards and backwards. You need those for the Ozzy Osbourne stuff, so you know what they're saying to the
Or the
devil.
Beatles.
Sure, sure. And the ones that go down and go to the doll's house. It's the cabin that we've grown to know and love. But there's decoys in there. I don't know if you're aware of this, Jenn Hoffman. "Ring Around the Roses" was a song written about the plague.
People said it was the Holocaust and people said it was the plague, and then I ended up looking it up once my daughter was learning it in like daycare or something, and then I found, what was it? I think it wasn't really, and that's like
It's
the
not either.
rumor. Because it's either people always say, that song's about the Holocaust, or it's about the bubonic plague or the Black Plague,
About the plague,
and
yeah.
then it's something, but it's not as sinister as
It's
like
either those.
if you Snopes it, you'll see like why the origins are that way, but it's also not.
Okay. Well, I did a show called Ghost Trek in which I played a ghost hunter, and there's a little zombie girl, and it happened to be the zombie girl from Walking Dead, Addie Miller, who played, and she was singing the song, and she was like, "That's the song about the plague," and I'm just like, "I don't care."
Yeah.
So yeah. So there we go. So you may or may not have learned something today, folks.
I'm not
We
sure.
don't know.
All I know is that people say the Holocaust too, because ash is ash, and it's not. I can say for certainty it's not about that.
Yeah.
Maybe there's some origins with the plague, but I did end up looking it up, and then I was like, oh, it's not as sinister as we think, but maybe there was some plague reference.
Sure. All right. Well, guess what? The dolls spray in your face.
That's so gross. I was like, what? What? I mean, I guess they're doing it for the extra effect to make it harder. It's entertainment to see them squirm around. But I actually wanted to kind of hear what the creepy dolls were saying and
Yeah,
figure
and
out
we didn't need the spraying, like, and Brittany loves a good spray in the face from a doll, apparently.
It was just distracting because I wanted to hear with the dolls. I wanted to see who is working together, who is fighting. And then of course Tom Sandoval, who's supposed to be so dumb, actually really gets on it and is like, I'm going to listen to them outside, away from the chaos, one at a time, forms a strategy and pretty much single-handedly make sure that they win the money. So, but the spraying of the dolls and stuff actually annoyed me. I was like, all right, enough,
Yeah, it worked against, like, the first couple were good little jump scares and fun, but I think they should have ended it there and
Yes.
but yeah. So, and as I said, like, Brittany's soaked, and I'm just like, okay, so we literally have Brittany giving up because she's like, I'm soaked. This is stupid.
It's what it was, is that they couldn't. You wanted the chaos of them picking up different dolls and hearing the different things and all trying to sing it and arguing over it while someone is secretly trying to find a shield. But instead, you have people just soaking wet and annoyed by the dolls. So they're just standing outside, get me out of here.
I think the spraying after the first minute was a hat on top of a hat.
Yes, totally. Yeah.
So, all right. Well, 15 minutes in, Tom finds a reverse doll, and he's the only musically inclined person in the entire castle. Who'd have thunk it? And the first one's row, row, row your boat, and then the Muffin Man, then Three Blind Mice. Sierra finds a shield in the bear on the front porch. Finally, Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star can you believe it, Jenn Hoffman, with seconds left?
Yes. It was it was 2, 1, Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. And I'm like, no way.
Yes. Every time.
Yeah. It always comes down to 02 on the clock.
Yeah. Who knew?
I think that they ran over the time and they just do that. They reset it or something.
Yeah, no, this is, yes, but it's fine. Who cares? Because if they don't get it, like we've seen, they get it at the end.
Yeah. I mean, besides the money, I mean, I've been on an episode of a show where we definitely did not complete a task in the allotted time. So they were like, and more time. And then it was like a 3, 2, 1. So I have experienced the time limit wasn't really the time limit because we needed this to be finished. So yeah, exactly.
Are you telling me that in Donald Trump's potential second run here that things could go overtime and we're just going to pretend like everything happened like it was supposed to?
Well,
All right.
I have no other
I'll
theory
take
on
it.
that. We can talk about some other time. I have a theory based on not only his shows but his business about the trajectory of the presidencies. But we can talk another time about that.
Oh, I'm frightened. Okay. All right. Good thing they didn't murder Tom, because that would have been my pick on who to get rid of, and no one would have cared, and no one would have looked at anyone in suspicion of anything if Tom hadn't have been there. Which, with Tom being overly descriptive at breakfast, really could have hurt Carolyn. But they wouldn't have gotten any money because Tom was the only one willing to figure out what to do.
Yeah. So yes. Also, by the way, strangely enough, even though people missed Chriselle, no one was that angry or vengeful, and it was kind of random. So strangely, even though they're seen very differently, Chriselle's the sweetheart, Tom, and they don't like each other and they're enemies.
Yeah.
I feel like it was equally like either of them could have been a good pick, and it wasn't like so disruptive. People were sad, but it didn't like disrupt.
I feel like
show.
basically just Gabby was sad.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it didn't disrupt anything.
No, not at all. And Gabby was like, okay, who can be my new bestie? And Carolyn's like, I'm here for you, girl. Have you seen you?
Yeah. I mean, that was actually maybe, I wonder if they thought about that, like just to break up more of that girl group, because Carolyn does slide in there like, hi, you're my friend now. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. I need one. You're it. You in. Well, Sierra thinks it's Brittany. Ivar thinks it's Sierra. Gabby thinks it's Brittany. Dylan thinks it's Brittany. I'm like, oh my God, a lot of people going Brittany. Don't worry. Sierra tells Carolyn about the Big Brother Alliance and the fact that it's boring. Yeah, thanks. Sierra's every other word is fuck. I'm here for it. She's great. Time for the round table. And Ella reminds us that not now, because I thought it was now, but later there will be no circle of truth at the very end. And I was just
it was like, oh, I forgot that that's a thing, but I don't know when it kicks in. It's just
but not now. But you think it's now, because it was just like, hey, just a reminder. It's like, oh, right now. It's like, not now, but I won't tell you it's not now.
Right.
Like, oh, okay.
Yeah. No, I caught on that he meant not at this round table, but I was like, but when?
I did not catch that.
Oh,
I was just
I caught it, but it did throw me off. I was like, I knew it wasn't going to be this one. So I thought that was going to be a play to get them to really lead into like, why don't you find out, like use this? Yeah. So, but I don't know. It was just confusing.
No, not at all. All right. Well, Sierra starts, and then Ivar's like, hey, the remaining traitors are probably girls, and Tom goes, yes, because girls are better cheaters. Traitors.
And then it's like the whole table at once all had like the same reaction of like, oh, like not just because it's so like the dumb thing to say, but because he said it, you have like in unison, everyone groaning / being like, you're the worst. And you start to feel bad for this guy.
I am so glad they cast Tom Sandoval in this season. Like Ivar's a dud. I feel like Sam's a dud. He did have a promising fleeting moment this episode.
That's only because he's gone soon. They're like, give him 5 minutes so we remind him when he's there, when he's out. I think. Yeah,
he's like the housewife last time that made it way further than she should have.
Yep. And then they didn't really do much with her, but then suddenly, that's what I always say. If you don't see somebody all season and then suddenly they show up, I'm like, they're gone in 2 episodes.
Yeah. Well, that's her. So Sierra said fuck you guys in the coffin, and they're like, well, that you said that because you're a traitor, and she was like, I ain't being convinced to get there. They're like, well, you were Boston Rob and Bob the Drag Queen, you convinced you to get in the coffin because they wouldn't. She was like, ain't nobody convincing me to get in the coffin. I think that fight should have been a little stronger, because if she says that fight to the extent that I think she could, I'm believing her.
Totally.
She didn't get in that fucking coffin.
Totally. To be like, she should have stood on that and been like, this morning at breakfast, even though Brittany's sitting next to dangerous Danielle, I straight up called her out. Like, I'm not afraid to say stuff. I have been fighting the stupid coffin thing. Do you think, knowing me and the way I am, I would have had like anybody tell me like, you get in the coffin, little girl? Like, she should have gone wild on that. The second thing was when they said, oh, yesterday you were one of the only 2 people who did not vote for Boston Rob. She should have been like, you know what? She should have been like, I totally thought it was him, and then we were partnered. and I was looking into his eyes with these bugs and stuff on me, and he kept telling me like, "You got me. Tell me about your life." And all of a sudden, I thought, "Oh, there's no way this guy could be this evil. Like, I'm not that familiar with him. I don't know him as this mastermind or
He's
whatever.
obviously good.
Yeah." And then to be like, I felt bad because he walked me through this thing that I couldn't. I was terrified. We would have let go of hands. And like, I saw him as a genuine guy, and I messed up on that. I'll own that, but I'm owning none of the rest of this. Like, she should have stood on that.
And you guys need to own the rest of it because you guys are stupid for how many round tables?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, it's time to vote. And Dylan says Sierra, Carolyn Sierra, Sam Sierra, Ivar, Dolores, Danielle, Gabby, Tom, Brittany, all Sierra. Sierra says Brittany. Time for the banishment. It's Sierra. We go to the circle of trust, and Sierra says, I will never succumb to anyone, especially the traitors, because I am a faithful.
And they're like,
oh, we're idiots once again.
Yeah, we're idiots. Although the second they walked out, they were justifying it. Like, they were going, "Oh, I feel bad."
But we had to eliminate the coffin theory as an option.
We had to do it. I would have kept thinking about it. And it was that I do think Sarah's downfall was not really hammering home that they think that because they didn't do Rob a few weeks in a row, that they must be making the same mistake. And that's like faulty logic, you know?
Yeah. So, well, Carolyn's trying to figure out who has the shield, and we see Sam, Ivar, and Dylan talking in the hidden room. He walks out to see Carolyn and Danielle talking, and I'm like, oh my God, the jig is up. Oh no. It's the opposite. They throw it on him. They're like, what were the three of you doing in the hidden room?
She was like, sus. It was really smart for Danielle to be like, that's sus. Because then it made them feel defensive instead of thinking about why are these two out here talking together. They felt defensive, like, wait, we need to make sure people know we're not the traitors, you know?
Yeah, but that was Danielle being the Danielle that I wanted to see on day one, and Danielle playing the great traitor game that I thought Danielle could play and can play as long as Boston Rob and Bob the Drag Queen aren't there. That was great. Carolyn making the crazy faces, which I thought she would do. We'll get to the Carolyn of it all. There's more. So hold on. Dylan still thinks Danielle's game is an act. It's time for the turret, and you can murder or recruit a traitor. Danielle reveals that Sierra had the shield. Carolyn's like, ooh, I heard otherwise. So I'm like, oh no, is this really happening? It's happening. Alan walks in. He goes, your choice is to murder or seduce a faithful. Danielle's like, I want to seduce. Carolyn's like, I want to murder. Danielle says we should seduce Brittany. Carolyn wants to seduce Abby. And Danielle is right because
sort of. Yes, because
the new traitor is a sacrifice.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Danielle, that's why Carolyn, I feel like, is getting it wrong, because she's worried about the two of them turning on her when she could very easily just continue to plant those seeds. Like, yes, recruit Brittany and then have Brittany get caught immediately. So people think that there must be only one left.
Where's the girl? It's probably a guy now.
Yes, and then people think there's either a guy or only one. There can only be one left. So then it's everyone's all over the map. And then they also gun for Danielle a little bit more because there's already suspicion that the two of them are playing together. So it's like Carolyn not wanting Brittany there, it's a mistake because she can either get a twofer with them. Although Danielle is smart enough where Danielle could throw Brittany under the bus herself, but it's like
I think Danielle needed to, and once again, we're only getting a small sliver as to what the conversation is. But Danielle's pitch should be is I'm sacrificing Danielle, or I'm sacrificing Brittany as a traitor. She bites the bullet for all of us.
Totally. She should have said, I know what you're thinking, that we're really tight. And she'll be like, to be honest, I just thought she was my last lifeline as a faithful to stand up for me. Yeah. She's like, but if we recruit her and suspicion's already on her and I still act the exact same friendly, we can turn it on her and she's gone and she will never figure it out because she is one of the most likely people to figure it out. She's just being quiet.
It's win-win. And Carolyn, all right, so we're getting the Danielle that I've wanted all season. I'm just like, yes, thank you, Lord. at the same time, we're getting the Carolyn that I was so scared. Like when they first announced that Carolyn was going to be on Traitors, I was just like, okay, if she's a traitor, no one will see her. It will be amazing. Or she will be the worst traitor ever because she will be so stubborn, so tone deaf. And that's the Carolyn we have at the end of episode 7. I'm just like, oh no, you made it 7 episodes.
She is winning this until I feel like this is so pivotal. You have the little thing at breakfast, and then now you have her being like, do you think I'm stupid about wanting to recruit Brittany? And it's like, I didn't. I actually thought you were a total genius and a mastermind and going to slay this game, and it was going to be the easiest traitors ever. But now you're overthinking this, and now
it's painful. It's literally this is why I didn't want her on the show.
I get it now because you explained that to me, but I'd already watched the first episode and I was like, she's my favorite. I am obsessed with her. I love her. And then she's kept going with that, and then you see it
incredible, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, there's so it's just like genius. Episode 7. This is why I wouldn't have even not only not made her a traitor, not even put her on the show."
Well, I totally get what you're saying, and it makes sense. But now at least you have this fall of somebody potentially.
I don't want the fall. I love her so much, and she's won me over. I'm just like, oh, please keep being great.
I know. I actually am annoyed too because I 100% wanted her to win this with completely undetected. Everyone being shocked.
The greatest ever. The greatest traitor in the history of traitors, Carolyn. Who had that on the 2025 bingo card? No one. God didn't have that.
No. it's so I mean, the edit and the way it looks like it's going is exactly what you're saying, but I still don't want it to be I still want her to win.
Yeah, it hurt. It just makes me so sad because I was just like, oh my god, is she borderline genius? And I'm just like, I'm so glad, I'm just like, and then tonight it's just or today or whatever, and I'm just like, oh, that's exactly what I was afraid of. Every wrong, and I was like, here we go. This is her, and I'm like, please don't be her. Be back, trick me.
We'll see because they didn't show us.
Yeah.
We're left with not knowing if who they'd pick and if that person accepts. We don't know if they've seduced, and we don't know if that person accepts the seduction. So
next week, Real Queens, Parv and Kate. We know Rachel loves Kate. That's her favorite traitor or faithful or both of all time. And I would miss Parv more if she actually went away.
I know. I'm I just she's on Deal or No Deal. She was just on this. I was really excited when I saw Kate, and then I was like,
oh, and Parv.
So I have to watch it back-to-back Parv because I just watched the Deal or No Deal Island. So I was a little bit
Did you hear she turned down House of Villains?
No, I did not know that.
Oh, she did an interview and said she turned down House of Villains and The Goat. But I'm sorry, quick correction here. Hello, people. She was never asked to be on House of Villains. So if you turn them down without asking, does that really count as turning them down?
Suspicious. Weird.
Well, no, it's a lie. It's a lie, Jenn Hoffman. She was never asked.
She wasn't asked?
No, she was I literally got a call. They're just like, hey, just a heads up. You were the second phone call on season 1. New York was the first. I'll accept it. I was the second phone call. They're like, the only way to follow Jonny Fairplay on season 2 is Richard Hatch. And join me and Richard Hatch for the premiere of Survivor 48 in Norwalk, Connecticut. Jenn Hoffman might be there. You never know. That is Wednesday, February 26th. Go to besttriviaever.com. That's besttriviaever.com. Get yours. They're almost sold out, folks. VIP is available. It's going to be really awesome. Possibly one of the coolest premieres I've ever done, ever. Besttriviaever.com. Norwalk, Connecticut. Me and Richard Hatch, the only other person to get a phone call for House of Villains. Sorry, not you, Parvati. So
Parvati's feelings were hurt, but she is back on the Traitors again. I was so excited to see Kate, and then I was like, Parvati,
yeah. So we'll chat after. I got some Parv news. You'll like it. All right. Next week should be crazy. Jenn Hoffman, where can everybody find you?
Instagram is at Jenn Hoffman Hi, HIJENNHOFFMANHI, and that's it right now.
Okay. I'm at Jonny Fairplay. No H and Johnny. Get your cameos. I think they're still $20. Maybe they're not. If you didn't get a Valentine's present for your Valentine, you're a shitbag. Here's a chance to make it right. Go to cameo.com/Jonny Fairplay. Links to everything at johnnyfairplay.com. No H and Johnny. Check out the new logo. It's awesome. Thanks to my good friend Kevin for that. And I will be back next week. I got Valentine's tonight with the fiance. So excited! I will knock out a few cameos before I go to dinner. I have a couple hours. Make it count, folks. And next week I got Deal or No Deal Island. I finally have the person that was voted or eliminated by the person who faced the banker because it was a cliffhanger. It was crazy. So we will be doing that next week. I guess there's going to probably a cast assessment for season 40 of Survivor should be in the works. We're looking at that. Australian Survivor starts on Sunday. Folks, buckle in real quick. I will be waking up 3 nights a week for the first month. Here's how Australian Survivor works. We have the new season of Australian Survivor, Brains versus Brawn 2. I actually have that channel on my cable. We're not getting into it. I will be waking up every night at 2:30 a.m., watching the show live at 3 a.m. It's a 90-minute show 3 nights a week. So at 4:30 a.m., Eden Porter from last season, Rebels v. Titans, he will be joining me. We will be doing a podcast 3 nights a week right after the episode for the first 3 weeks. And then the next month, it's only 2 nights a week. I will continue to be doing podcasts, but I'm gonna be in Australia. That's right. On Sunday, March 15th or Sunday, March 16th, I will be in Sydney, Australia with Ferris and King George. And then on Monday, the 17th of March, St. Paddy's Day, I'll be at the Emerald Peacock in Melbourne, Australia. Go to survivortix.com. Tickets go on sale tomorrow, I believe. Survivortix.com. That's survivortix.com. And then I'm in where am I? I'm in Boca Raton, Florida. I'm in another country that I'm not allowed to talk about in another month. So yeah, lots of cool stuff happening. So with that, I'm Jonny Fairplay. Rachel Reilly says hello. She misses you. She loves you all. Go buy stuff on Amazon. That's her favorite. Click her stories to find out what to buy. And Jenn Hoffman, welcome back. You've been missed.
Thank you.
With that, bye everybody.
Bye.